Hello and welcome to the STiKS. I just literally ran over here and sat down with about 1 minute left to go to start the show. So it may take me a moment to compose myself. I went and got food, and I haven't even been able to eat it. I brought it into the room and just sat it in the kitchen, and I'm staring at it right now. Like I can see my food and my drink as well, but I can't like get it, and so
Your
I'm
stomach
kind of
cries
sad.
for it.
Kind of sad. When these guys are doing their name and affiliations, since I don't really care about their names or their affiliations, I may like leave. No, I'm
Same.
just joking.
Damn.
All right, so we're gonna go around and introduce our guests for today. And for those of you guys that are wondering, like all the pros are very, very, very busy. Even the regulars that come on our show, when we ask them like 20 minutes before, they're extremely busy. Some of them are still traveling. Denial is out celebrating their winnings, and so hopefully we'll get some of them on later this week or next week or the week following. But you know, we got Hudson today, we got Fox, we got MLG Roster
Hey.
Mania, the new just hit 14K on Twitter.
Hey.
And we've got Kingdom Soldier, so we've got a good show. We're good to go. All right, so I want you guys to say your name, affiliations within the community. You can say your personal channels and all that kind of stuff. Congrats, Hudson, on 20K, by the way. And
Thanks,
then
man.
the question I want you guys to answer is, if you could add any EXO ability to Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, like if Sledgehammer came up to you and said, what kind of an EXO ability do you want us to add to the game, whether it's to improve competitive or the game overall, that's going to be your question for today. And I'm going to start with Fox. I'm going to go to Hudson, Landon, and then myself.
Hello, I'm Fox or Rondez. You guys know me as Fox. That's pretty much my alias in the community. But you know me as a streamer on MLG TV. You know me as a caster. I've got a couple of things coming up soon. I'm sure you guys would love to hear. I'm sure you should know that I would love to talk about, but I can't do that yet. If I had to add an extra ability to Advanced Warfare, I would actually change a current one, the EXO trophy system. I'd love it so instead of you becoming the trophy, that you threw them. It produced EXO trophies, so it would be like Black Ops 2. That's what I would change.
That's a great idea.
That's probably cool. Yeah.
Hudson?
All right. I'm Hudson. I have a YouTube channel, Hudson's Tech. Like Kingdom just said, we just hit 20K over there, which is pretty nuts, like really nuts. Didn't expect it to go that far, and just started streaming here on Twitch as well, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, so that's that. I do content for Optic Intel, and that's pretty much the affiliations. If I could change or add an EXO ability, we were just talking about this, and as much or as annoying as it probably would be, I would do EXO EMP, where it would, like, within a radius, I'm not sure how that would work, you'd have to test it and whatever, it would turn off others' exosuits for a duration, which I think would be pretty cool and strategic, although it would probably be annoying, but, you know, you'd have to find out. I think that'd be cool. But, yeah.
All right. Lando?
All right, guys, what is up? My name is Lando Calrissian, or Landon, or MLG Rostermania, which is my Twitter. I do run a Twitter about Rostermania news. A lot of stuff that might happen. We'll talk about that later in the show. I do have a YouTube channel where I do upload content. Going to be uploading a video very soon, maybe even tonight if I have it rendered or whatnot. But anyway,
yeah, right, won't happen.
Yeah, hey, shut up. Anyway, as well as that, I do a lot of different things in the community, and if I were to make an EXO ability, is that what you said, in Call of Duty, I've talked about this in the past, much like in Zombies and Black Ops 2, there was a gun called the Wonder Waffle, and you could make zombies into like little children, like you could like mini them, so I would have it called EXO Mini, and you could like literally just make people like miniature, like little miniature Call of Duty players just running around. That'd be awesome. Or make yourself mini so you can like sneak into spots. There you go.
Nice.
You could be like,
and then you eat like a magic mushroom, then you get big again.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta keep you as far away from Vandahar as possible.
You could be like Oddjob from 007. Do you guys remember Oddjob? Did you play that game?
I do. Yes, that's crazy.
James Bond. That was like the first. I guess you'd call it an FPS multiplayer. Like that game.
You talking about GoldenEye
on Nintendo 64? Yeah.
Yeah, GoldenEye. Yes.
GoldenEye. That game was played like crazy. Anyway, my name is Kingdom Soldier. I do some stuff on the internet. I like to talk about competitive Call of Duty here on the STiKS, and we have numerous other shows, and we're working tirelessly on a fifth or fourth, or I don't even know how many we have right now, but we're working on starting another show for CSGO. We're still working on that behind the scenes, and we'll keep you guys informed on how that's going to go. We do also have our shirt and our hoodie that is for sale right now, I believe, for another week. I already got my white hoodie. I'm probably going to get a couple of blue shirts as well. I'm getting all my orders in, though. You know, like I have family members and stuff like that, like my IRL people that want to grab some of our gear. So somebody throw that in the chat if you can, either a mod or goalie. Throw the link for the shirt and the hoodie in the chat because they're only for sale for a little bit longer. I believe we've hit our minimum goal on both items, but you know, now we're just in the surplus. We want to make sure we get them to you guys, get out as many as we can. And if I could add an EXO ability, I would add EXO aimbot, and I would.
Oh God.
I would give EXO aimbot to the. It would be like not a death streak, but I would give it to the best person in the lobby for the first. Let's say we give it to them for the first minute of like the next game. They have EXO aimbot. I think it would make for a pretty. Everybody would be trying their pants off. You still can't camp on this game, so there's no way you could camp to get it. But it'd be pretty interesting if you got aimbot if you landed at the top of the leaderboard, and it would be in points, not so it wouldn't just be kills. You could land at the top of the leaderboard in just in points in general, so you could grab the hard point over and over and over and land at the top and get EXO aimbot. All right, so thank you guys. Make sure you guys use code STiKS. I had somebody tweet at me today, said they tried to use the code Kingdom and it didn't work, so they sent Scuff an email because they were complaining that my code didn't work, but my code is not Kingdom. Kingdom is for G Fuel to get 10%. The code is STiKS for Scuff to get 5% off of your Scuff gaming products. Thank you guys, by the way. I got an email from G Fuel, and it looks like you guys have been supporting the crap out of me when it comes to Gamma. And in the last month, you guys have spent more using my code than in the quarter before that, than in the whole 3 months before that. So really appreciate you guys using the code Kingdom to get your G Fuel 10% off. Hopefully you took advantage of the 40% off that there was this weekend for using the code CHAMPS. But now that that's over, go back to using Kingdom so you can get 10% off your G Fuel. Grape is the bomb. All right, so done.
Can I say one thing? Shout out to that one guy that would not buy his Scuff without your code.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. What a nice guy.
Yeah. That was pretty epic. We actually had a guy that was waiting for us to get a Scuff code when he found out that we were gonna get sponsored. He waited to buy his Scuff. I mean, you guys are the best. We have the best. The STiKS fam. You guys are the best. We're all.
We just added someone to the STiKS fam. We just added someone. SN4RN. I don't know.
Hey, SN4RN. He was in the midday 2K yesterday. He said he was going to sub today. Somebody else said they were going to sub today too. I don't know who it is, but thank you. Throw some hitches in the chat, subs. Throw some Kingdom Froze in the chat if you can for the new STiKS fan member. Well, welcome to the family. All right,
the green fro this weekend was nuts.
Oh
my god!
It'd be nice if our emote had the green fro on it.
You could see him from across the venue, and if it was pitched black, you could still see him. It was hilarious. Yeah,
it was so bright. It was like, I mean, I have all the pictures. Every picture he tweeted out, I saved, and that other people tweeted out, and I've already used it a couple times, like on Twitter. It's like because the one where he's sitting there like this.
He's asleep, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it said something like what Hitch does when both of the Optic teams are out of the tournament, and he was just sitting there. And he was asleep, I think. And so I used that one today to tweet at Big Snacks, and I'm going to keep using all of Hitch's pictures because he had some good ones that I took. So we did a day 1 recap. We did a day 2 recap. We did not do a day 3 recap. So we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on this show going into the minutia of the event itself. However, your guys' questions from Twitter are really good. I haven't even sent the ones to goalie that I've selected yet, but I've got a whole bunch of really good ones, so I want to make sure we get to that. But we do want to talk about the event, and before we go into the placings, Hudson, do you want to kind of give us an overall? You were at the event. You want to give us an overall of what the experience was like going to Champs? Was this your first Champs? And how did it differ from the other events that you've been to?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So this was my first Champs, turned 18 in November, so I was able to go, which was really exciting. And I've been to a few events in the past, one UMG, one MLG, and then this event. So they're all very, very different. This one stood out the most. Just the way it was run, you could tell it was very serious and prestigious. That's probably a better word. For just like the way they had it set up, the type of people that were there, the
What?
security guards. You had to have metal detectors, so that when you got in, like your stuff was
Wow.
checked and everything. There was a line for media specifically. The cameras that they were using were, TV broadcast quality. So it was nuts, like really cool. And for a spectator, it was wild because the sound system in there was beyond anything like that I've been like any event that I've been to. Like you could feel everything, so that was cool. Just the setup was phenomenal. I don't know, like it was a really cool event. I liked everything about it. But from a media perspective, so like I do video and photo and stuff for Optic Intel. It was much more difficult. So if you're a spectator, you probably enjoyed the way they had it
Oh
set
yeah.
up. But for media, it was a lot more different and more of a challenge to get the photos and videos that you wanted to. So I mean, just it was probably better that way, but for us, it was kind of difficult. But other than that, I don't know. I had a really good time. It was really really cool. And for a first champs, couldn't have asked for a better one. Well, maybe if Optic would have placed better, but Denial did a good job. So congrats to them. And then TR blew everyone away. So I think most of us had Phase Red in our top three at least. So they placed third. But Denial showed up, and then TR did amazing. So it was fun to watch. I mean, it was really really fun. Definitely, yeah.
Awesome. So I can't track all the subs. I know Pittsburgh subbed. Thank you, Pittsburgh.
I saw that.
Congratulations, by the way, for the success of your team this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I
Elduro.
don't know the name of the other one.
It's Elduro 224. I see it.
Elduro 224. Thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate it greatly. Welcome to the family. We will not disappoint. All right, so we're gonna do something. I want you guys to minimize or stop looking at your computer screens. Look at your cameras, and we're gonna start with me. I'm gonna fail this really quick, but we're gonna start with me, and we're gonna name the top 8 placings without looking for COD champs.
God.
Do not look. Fox,
Oh,
I see.
man.
I don't look. Let me,
I see
let
your
me
glasses. I can
maximize
see,
Skype.
I can see
Wait,
your glasses.
hold up. Let me maximize Skype because I know
Alright,
you guys are going to try to cheat.
I'm minimizing.
All right,
Look,
all right,
I have
all
a
right,
black
all right.
desktop background.
I
Oh, wait,
failed
hold up.
already.
Okay. For some reason, I couldn't see Hudson's video. All right, here's the deal. Look at the screen. Don't look at the list. All right, I'm going to start first, and then we're just going to go me, Landon, Fox, Hudson. Got it? Me, Landon, Fox, Hudson.
So you're
All
gonna
right,
name all 8, or we're gonna go one?
No. I'm naming one. Then it's going to be Landon has to
Okay.
name second. You got to name third. Hudson has to name fourth.
Oh,
And
got
I'm
it.
going to start with Denial.
TR. Shouts Pittsburgh.
Ron, you're up. Who got third?
Oh, okay. Phase Red.
Prophecy.
And this is where I fail. Who got fifth? Don't give me any hints. Prophecy. Crap.
Wow, Hitch has such an ego, dude.
Hitched us? What did he do? All right, I'm out. Landon, who got fifth?
Rip.
Fifth was Prophecy. AR. It was AR. I know it was AR.
Oh, dang
Oh,
it.
okay.
We talked about it. We talked about it before the show.
Okay, Ron, sixth.
All right. After AR,
This one's hard.
dude, I should
Hudson,
know this.
what are you looking at? I see you.
Oh, I
What's
the
that?
chat.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Let's see. What can you answer this question? No European teams made it into the money, right?
No, none European.
Okay.
However,
So, I can get this. This is killing me because I know it.
This one's hard. This one's hard. This one's hard.
it is.
But I swear I know it.
Oh,
I
wait,
really
stop.
Be
do.
out. Just be out then. If you're out, just admit you're out.
All right, I'm
Totally
out.
don't say anything. All right, Hudson, do you know who's
So
sixth?
we're at 6th, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna when I
Oh
find out.
man.
Oh
This
God,
shows you how
please.
important these tournaments are. All you remember, really, at the end of the day, is number one. But the
No,
top three is what's in most people's. Hudson,
I'm gonna say was oh shoot.
wait a minute.
get out.
I have no idea.
Landon, do you know who was sixth?
Oh yeah, it was Mind Freak.
Who was
I wouldn't
who
have
was
guessed
seventh?
that. Okay.
These two are
OG
easy.
and then TK.
Whatever, you detriment. Who was
Well, we
12th?
talked about it for the show. That's why I knew.
Who's
Who was
12?
12th? Oh,
Landon.
okay. Hold on. Well, no, it's like there's like multiple people for 12, right? There's like
Yeah,
12
it's 12th,
through.
8th, 12th, 18th.
So I have to know. I have to know like all of those.
Not 18th, 12th.
Use one of-
Top 12.
Give me one of the 9th through 12 teams.
Envy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, whatever. You're a detriment.
Am I doing the next? The next
All right,
one's
so
ON,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
the.
No, when was
uh,
13th through
so
16th? Sorry.
The outside of the top 8. Now this is the unfortunate part of this event. Outside of the top 8 was Envy, Phase Black, SB, ON, TCM, and Epsilon. This event was really awkward in the placing. So I'm gonna go around and give you guys
Really
an opportunity.
awkward.
What was besides Optic Gaming? What were the surprises for you? I guess as far as placings went, who were you surprised with that maybe placed in and out of the top 8?
Well, definitely Phase Black. They did way worse than I thought. I'm not really sure, what went wrong. I didn't watch that many games that weren't alpha stream. But that was really surprising. Top 16, like, come on. Like, those are some high caliber players. Really surprised about that. ON wasn't, like, it was more of a disappointment because, you got Karma on there and you want so badly for them to do good. But I just don't know what doesn't click with them. And then, of course, you want to see Epsilon play well with Swanee and them. So that was, that was a bummer too. But it was just weird. It was such a weird turnout. I don't think you could have predicted that at all. Like, you'd have to be nuts.
No, that was yeah, go ahead. Anybody else before I go? Your biggest surprise in and out of top 8.
I knew that TR was going to do well, and I've been hyping those since regionals, like I've said, but I did not expect them to get in the top 3. Did not see that coming at all. I just seeing them perform at regionals, I was like, this is a great team. Like the few mistakes that they're making, like even I could even hear them, standing around their booth when they were communicating. I was like, I mean, their communication sucks, but these players, like when I watch them play, they know what they're doing, and their movement's so great, their positioning fantastic. They just work together so well. I knew that they were going to do well, but I did not expect them to place top 3.
I agree with that.
All right, Landon.
I would agree with TR. I had them in my top 8. I didn't have them necessarily second, but I was really surprised about them. But since Ron mentioned that, I'm going to say Mind Freak was kind of surprising to me. I honestly had Mind Freak and Epsilon switched. I thought Epsilon and the EU teams would do a little bit better, considering one of them is actually in our Season 2 league, but none of the other Season 2 teams really did that well either. But regarding that, I was really surprised about Epsilon, and Mind Freak really did a lot better than I predicted they would. I think Mind Freak showed a lot of people, and especially 3-0ing, I think was it? No, they don't know if they 3-0'd them, but they beat TK to get where they were.
Yeah,
and
that was
definitely Mind Freak was a big one for me.
I'm gonna say that Revenge getting second was a surprise. I did actually have them getting. I had them getting 4th. I believe I had them losing to Denial, going into the losers bracket like they did, and then losing before they got to the losers finals. I think, and so I didn't think TR was gonna get that far. For them to get second, they proved that. And like, Fox said, they did a good job. The ones that were outside that I was shocked with, I was not shocked that I was shocked. To be honest, I thought Envy was going to be outside of the top 5 or 6, but I thought they were going to be top 8. FaZe Black, I thought they were going to be
Same
top
here.
8. SB, I thought they were going to be top 8. ON, with as much struggles as they've had, I thought they were going to be top 8.
Yeah.
And I really thought Epsilon was going to be top 8. So, I mean, they didn't get out of pools, which really sucks, and we'll talk about that later. But, this event had so many surprises. And let me ask you guys this, and you can just say yes or no, because was this as a result of Optic going out early, not because you wanted to see them win, so to speak, but because of what they've been doing? They won the 3 events before this. They won everything online. They've won the only 10K we've ever had. They won 1,000,000 5Ks and 2Ks. Was the last day of this event underwhelming? Like, did it not deliver on expectations as a result of Optic not being in the tournament?
No, I don't think so.
Well, being there, no. If I was from home, maybe. I mean, it's easy to turn a stream off, but being at the event, it was just as hype. I was telling the guys earlier, the crowd was packed. They filled the whole venue. Like, there were people standing up even, and then they removed all of the other stations. They were completely gone and put seats back behind the main stage where the Xbox analyst desk was, and presented by Xbox. And they filled that too. So it was pretty intense. I thought it was fun to see an underdog come through, or a dark horse, black horse, whatever, and play well. And then I don't know. I enjoyed the finals, and I'm sure a lot of people would have liked to see it differently. But for being there, it was definitely just as exciting, I think. Yeah.
I agree with you. I really enjoyed it.
It was enjoyable. It's good for you to hear. It's good for me to hear that the crowd didn't disappear, because that's what a lot of people say about champs. And I know Hitch tweeted a picture of the grand finals, and then with a thing about how people were complaining about viewership and all this kind of stuff, and then got into a huge debate on Twitter. And that's why I was hoping he was going to be able to be on the show today. But I'll get him on the air somehow, or he's going to upload some series, and then me and him are going to do some kind of 1v1. But this was for me, I would say as a viewer, it was only underwhelming in the sense that if Optic was going to lose, I wanted them to lose in the grand finals. The best team not being even close to the finals was just kind of weird. It was kind of awkward. And we're going to talk about whether or not they're still the best team later. But let's go ahead and move to some standout stats before we take our first commercial break. So, you guys may have some. I'm going to kind of read off. The guys at COD_stats sent me an email with some of the interesting stats, and I picked a couple that I want to share with you guys. And the first one is that overall, during Optic Gaming's losses, Scump was the only player to go positive. In all of the matches that they lost, Scump was the only player to go positive. Now, Hudson, at the event, was there any kind of were Optic fans quiet? Were they sad? What was going on at the event when Optic was losing?
It was very quiet, and I want to say it's kind of like when you're I mean, I guess if you would have put a lot of money on the game, and that a lot of people would have, that Optic would have won the tournament, and for them to sort of not even show up really, I mean, pool play they did fine, and they went 3-0, which was as expected, but then day 2, they really didn't play. I mean, Seth was the only one that, because normally you're oh, Crimbot, he just got a 3v1 in search, Crimbot's turning up, he's killing the hard points and stuff. Formal's playing fantastic, and he did some games, but Seth was the only one turned on the whole event. And obviously that showed in the stat, but this crowd was very quiet. And for the games that Optic was playing in, it was very a one-sided crowd for the most part. And
as expected.
yeah, and other than those games, though, it wasn't. But yeah, it was kind of depressing because like you thought like they're gonna win, everyone else is playing for second,
Yep.
they're gonna plow through. It was so weird because no one expected that. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. It was weird. It was quiet. And as soon as they left and the fans or whatever kind of rejuvenated and heard that the team's not splitting up and whatever, and the crowd kind of came back, and then it was fun to watch again. I don't know. It was weird though.
It
Yeah.
sounded like from the pros that this was a fun event to watch. Like the ones that got eliminated, like they all said, except for Scump that said in his video he just couldn't watch. He couldn't stomach it. He said he didn't even want to listen to it. He didn't want to know what was going on. He just was mad and so
I can
or
relate.
sad. And so I think yeah you can, but I think
You caught
I
that,
think
right?
that well, I mean you didn't miss out on $100,000, but you know.
Yeah.
Close.
But I think that it's close. Being there to see them miss out on $100,000 would have been great, right?
Mm. I'm just thinking about the cast-off host. That was just.
No,
that
that's
was
what I'm saying. You could have
yeah.
been there to watch them
I
lose.
could have been there.
miss out.
Nate was sitting in
Could have
the
given Scump a hug.
bleachers
Yes.
for like I don't know, like 3 games. So he was there until he got swarmed, but he was there for a little bit. All the casters, and like I said, people were standing on the sides. So I mean, it was fun to watch. Like, it was an incredible event. Good Call of Duty was played.
Yeah.
Just the placings were weird. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of weird placings, TR, the team that got second, they had one of the most balanced kill spreads across the teams in the tournament. Nagafin had 25% of the kills, Aqua had 26%, Vicento 25%, and Remy 24%, which I'm sure is part of what led to their success is that there was no there was nobody getting like 31% of the kills or anything like that. It was very evenly spread with a 2 percentage difference across the entire team, which is pretty interesting. This is an interesting one, and when you first hear it, you're going to think it's what I'm saying something different, but no player on AR had a positive KD in every game mode. Now, that doesn't mean they all had negative KDs, but what it means is there isn't a single player that on every game mode was positive. So they were negative. All of their players were negative in one of the game modes that there are in one of the 4 game types. And so Denial averaged they averaged 6.1 more kills in Search and Destroy than their opponents. I am guessing that this helped them secure their victory. Averaging 6 more kills is huge. Offline, I'll read you guys they put the stats for Optic Gaming's average kills in Search and Destroy. It was a little depressing, so we'll we'll look at that offline.
Yeah.
I did see Formal drop 18 in Search, and he went 18 and 4. That was nuts. I mean, it was against BZ, but still.
And there you have it.
Yeah, it was still good. Yeah, it's still good. BZ is a good team, so it's still good.
Overall, it's
in the
coming
weekend,
from Optic,
go ahead.
though.
Yeah,
It's just coming from Optic, though, like it's sort of expected, right?
Well, they were expected to drop those kind of numbers even on FaZe Red and Denial and all the teams. It just didn't happen this weekend. Overall, on the weekend, there were 37 3-0s, 25 3-1s, and only 16 3-2s. So, again, we see the 3-2s were not prominent. The ones that there were really, really good series. In my opinion, those were some of the best series of the weekend were the 3-2s. There were some good 3-1s as well. The Denial OG series was good, but the 3-2 series just were really, really good. It kind of kept you on the edge of your seat. That's the one thing I will say that AW has produced and done a good job of, regardless of the fact that there's 4 different game types, which is strange. Game 5 Search and Destroy is exciting. Like there's something that AW, that's what it has produced, is that when you get to a Game 5, it's like the best ending to any series, even if it's 6-2. It's still a good ending to a series is when you get to Game 5.
Uplink's definitely helped that as well. Like the Uplink games are literally insane.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna add. Is the uplink that takes it to the Game 5 that adds a whole new level, because when when you're down 2-1 in the series and you can come back on an uplink and win or play extremely well, right, to take you to the last search. That's exciting. And the uplink games were wild. Like, I love that game mode. That's a fun game mode.
No, who was
Yeah.
it? Was it FaZe Red that ran up? They got all the way to 10 on Optic
Don't
Like
even.
3
That was
minutes. Yeah.
sad.
on that
I don't
comeback.
even know what happened.
Parasite was on
I,
ice skates. He was just like sliding through bullets and just like Parasite was playing like freaking Chris Paul or something. I don't even know, like Steph Curry. I don't know.
Steph Curry.
I
Yeah.
want to say Optic like they just decided to like whatever, but I don't think they did. I have no idea what happened. That was nuts though. Like the crowd was like,
Like, did it look like that?
What?
It looked like Optic just kind of threw in the towel and said we lost.
I don't know. I wouldn't speak on their behalf like
Yeah.
that. But
Do you guys remember the score? Do you guys remember the score for when?
Well, it
like
was
for
10-2 going into the second round.
I think it was
Oh,
like
this-
11-2. to
Someone said
finish it.
20-3 overall. I think. Wait, what?
the
Is that
game.
true?
The game ended. You said the game ended 11-2.
I
the
think.
first round, the first half, because at 10, you know how it stops.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they hit
Okay.
10
Dumped
and then
it,
they
yeah.
got an 11, and there was no
And then they
way
kept
Optic
playing.
was coming.
It's weird. Like, now let me ask you guys. Technically, is there a way for Optic to win that? If they have 11,
Well, yeah, you have to get more points, than they do in that time frame.
in that
Wait.
round, or overall, will it let you go? Over
Yeah, because
10?
there was like 3 minutes and
Second.
50 seconds or something that you had
Yeah,
to
if it's
get
like
10
11-3, they just have 3 minutes 50 seconds to beat them. Like it's not like
But you're saying in the second round,
He's not talking about overtime,
you
guys.
can-
He's just talking about in round 2.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No, I
yeah,
know, no, I know, but because when you mercy rule them and get 10 points, then that time that you got those 10 points in carries the
Oh.
second half.
I see what you're
Right.
saying.
So
I see.
Oh,
now in the second half you have 3 minutes and 51 seconds or however long it was to get
Yeah.
those points. But because they did get 1 point or 2 points in the first side, they were
Yeah.
able to come back. If they would have got like 13 points, I've never seen that happen, but I don't think you could win.
Yeah, I mean, it was over anyway. It was like the way that game was playing out was like, it was bad. All right, last stat that I have, and then we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back and we got to get to these questions from Twitter because they're really good. And we'll talk about notable moments before we do that. But here's the last stat: when a team wins, blah, they win blah percentage of the time. So when a team won the uplink, they won 79% of the time when they won the uplink. When a team won the hardpoint, they won 78% of the time. When they won the first search and destroy, they won 71% of the time. And the biggest stat is that when they won the CTF, the team that won the CTF won 92% of the series that were played. If you won
Wow.
the CTF, there was only an 8% chance that you were losing the entire series, which I think, because of where a CTF places in the rotation of maps, is pretty interesting. That if you won CTF, you'd win 92%. And that's probably because that would be the 2-1 lead,
Yeah.
I would think.
And how many 3-1s were there? You say you like had a stat for that? You said
25.
okay.
There's 25
So
3-1s,
that's-
37
yeah.
3-0s. But a 3-0 would mean you won the CTF, right?
Yes, because it's
Yeah, which
HPS and
You
DCTF,
won
right?
HP, CTF, and that's probably why that stat is 92%, because those 37 3-0s, they won the CTF to win the match. So
I personally like
it
to
might be. What'd you say?
I would personally like to have the S&D or the uplink right after the CTF. I mean, have the uplink right after the S&D at all times. Because I know like sometimes they switch it up. That's just me personally. I would like that much more.
I think it's because a lot of people don't like Advanced Warfare CTF because it was so much better in Black Ops 2. I think a lot of people would agree.
Two
I think
hard
that's why,
points.
is that why
Yeah.
you're saying that?
I'm just gonna
Too
say
hard
that.
points
CTF
and
is
an
fine,
uplink.
but yeah.
It's just the way
So-
it plays. It played a lot better without the exosuits, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next year. The
Yeah,
overall,
we'll see.
the teams that outslayed won 83% of the time, which is interesting because that means OG was just outslayed in their matches when they lost, probably. Which it was a big surprise. I mean, and we're going to, of course, most of the questions for Twitter are revolving around, well, at least half of them are revolving around Optic and their future and Nade's tweet and blah, 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 blah. So we'll get to all that and roster mania and all that kind of stuff when we come back from this commercial break. We will see you guys on the other side of 60 seconds with some questions from Twitter and notable moments. Peace.
Hey guys, what is up? Kingdom Soldier back from the commercial break, but you guys can tell that Kingdom's not here. There he
He's
is.
using X.
There's
Exo
a bag of.
Float.
Can I see that bag of chips? Wait
He
a
was
minute.
using Exo.
That's what's
while he was
important.
gone.
You want to see my bag of chips?
Yeah, dude, that's important. Those Doritos?
It's
what
product
it was?
placement. Can I show that? Can I show it?
I mean, as
Okay.
long as you have the
Probably-
Mountain Dew combo.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
We're
Okay,
back.
here, ready? Did you see it?
No.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks
Doritos.
I just
It's
flashed
only
it past
60
the
FPS.
Yeah.
screen.
Yes.
All right. Oh my gosh, I just saw it on stream. It like you could barely see that Kingdom Detriment.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bron. Thank you, Bron. I really appreciate your love and affection for me.
What
All
a
right,
nice
so
guy.
Hudson, I'm gonna let you at the end of this notable moments that we kind of talked about before the show. Ron, you weren't part of that conversation, so you might have some as well. But then you, Hudson, you might have some moments that happened on site.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys kind of talk about any of these moments that you want or any that you have in general. So I got the grand finals, of course. Denial versus TR. That was a pretty epic moment. I was definitely, the Riot S&D kept us on our toes and on the edge of our seats. It's like, are they going to make a comeback? Is this going to go? I mean, that was an epic match.
Yeah.
Optic getting 3-0'd by FaZe Red, unfortunately, was a memorable moment. You kept wanting Optic to come back. Like, you just wanted them to pick up the steam and beat STiKS in the worst way possible, which is coming back from an 0-2. We really wanted that to happen. TR's run was another notable moment. Their run through the winners bracket and success in beating FaZe Red in the losers. Now, let me ask you guys this, because I didn't get to see that match, but I heard all of the games were really close, and then I saw all these tweets about they threw, like Enable said, I think we threw that series away. Like, what did he mean by that?
TR against who? Oh, against FaZe Red? Is that what you said?
Yes, yeah. Like Enable was saying, he was like, I think we threw away that series, but like, were there some obvious mistakes that FaZe Red made in that series that made him say that, or?
The S&D definitely went in TR's favor pretty easily because
Yeah.
they're a fantastic S&D team. I don't even know why. That's a surprise, but I'm trying to think of why he would say feels like they threw it. I can't even think of
Well, I heard there was a team kill.
Oh gosh! Oh
yeah,
my
it just got,
goodness,
like,
that was
two-
beautiful.
Yep.
Last round. Yeah, their last round.
Round 11, Solar S&D,
STiKS
naded Enable
Enable.
on accident. I don't know how it
Oh.
happened. They
And
had
he-
Oh
top
no,
spawn
the
on Solar, so I
crowd
don't
was
even know.
cringing.
I don't even know where, like, how he. I'm trying to think of how he did it, like, because we weren't on their POV, but they got top spawns. I don't even know where he could have thrown that frag to have
Well, I
it hit
think-
Enable.
So
Yeah.
he was okay. So they were on offense.
Yeah, you probably know.
Yeah, he was. STiKS and Enable went up the right side where the is it B bomb? Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's B-bomb.
B bomb is, and Enable was going through the cutout to go to like the pool, the middle, and
That's
like
good.
the mid hard point, right? And STiKS naded that, bounced off the wall, and got like bounced in between those two
Oh.
walls and got him. That's what happened.
No. I mean,
That
here's.
sucks.
I wonder if Enable knew he was throwing that grenade. Though maybe we don't even know. Maybe Enable made the mistake. Maybe that's think about it that way though. Like that's probably
Just
that
miscommunication.
could have been a nade that they throw all the time, and Enable accidentally jumped down or something. We don't know. But
Or
as
an
far
unlucky
as it looked like it was
bounce.
STiKS' fault. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
As far as we know, it's STiKS' fault or just a
Well, the most coordinated like search and destroy that we saw in this event, in my opinion, was Denial. Like their Solar S&D was like T1 to me. I actually learned some things, and I was like, wow, this is the way they're pushing and the way I see all their little arrows rotating together, rotating through mid, countering what Optic was doing, and every other team they played. I just thought that they did really good, and it may just be the FaZe Red, like you said. That wasn't something that they practiced, because that was on Terrace, right? What map? Do you guys remember what map it was on?
Solar.
Oh, it was Solar? Okay, and he
versus TR. That's what you're talking about, right?
nading your
Yeah.
teammate on Solar. That sucks.
Yeah, it was just
Such a big
so
map.
unlucky.
Like, that's so rare.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
yeah,
one of
nading
the
your own
spots where it
teammate
could
on-
happen too. Like I can't even think of where else it would happen on that side of the map. Like
I've naded myself. Like, I shoot and it bounces off the wall and hits me or something. But nading
Well,
your
yeah,
teammate
but-
on Solar is really a rarity.
Especially if it was the
This game
last
are
round.
Freaking tennis balls, dude! Like it's so annoying.
5-5.
Yeah.
You guys remember what team was it that did the I think it was Mochilla that did it. I can't remember, or when Burns and Mochilla were still together, and they all launched nades like on the back of glass, and they like he got a triple nade or something like that. It wasn't
Wow.
this
No,
event. I don't remember. I'll have to find the video because I put it in best
I don't.
competitive
Oh,
vids. It was pretty
I
dope.
think I know why Nabel said that now, though. Besides the fact that Aches obviously betrayed him, it ended up being
Uh-huh.
a 2v2 after that, anyways. They still brought it back to be a 2v2 situation. So they could have been 3v2 or even 4v2 if Aches didn't accidentally
They
kill
could have had
Nabel.
Yeah, and
advantage.
the thing is like TR is so good at search,
Yeah.
and to put yourself at a disadvantage like that
Yeah.
right at the start, and if Enable was there, they probably would have won. The way that they had set up was really advantageous for them, and they were able to pick up a couple of kills. It just sucked. I don't know.
As cool, calm, and
I think it
collected
was
as Enable
Parasite was in a
is,
1v1. I
he
think
probably went bananas in that moment. I can
so.
imagine. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being 5-5 and you're in the losers finals to go to the grand finals and make more money, and you get team killed?
Oh,
Be
I would be
furious.
heated. I
I
mean,
would no, I
Ian's
wouldn't
not
say
the
a word
type of
though.
guy to like
I
get
wouldn't say a word
mad about
in this
that,
situation.
but
I'd wait till it was
I would
over, and
say a
then when we
couple
lost, I'd be like, "What the?"
Yeah.
I would just start cussing.
What if they
All
threw it
right,
to a team
so
chat? What if they threw it to a team chat
that would
as
be
soon
oh,
as that happened?
Oh, that's a
bad.
recipe for
yeah.
disaster. You were
Oh
just
my
asking
god.
for a
That
disaster
would
right
be
there, dude.
bad.
Oh
They're very
no.
careful about team chatting in those type of
Yeah.
moments.
As they
All
should
right,
be.
so Owen versus Envy was another notable moment. That was a big. Now that was one of those matches that nobody wanted to see, but it had to happen because they both lost in the first round. But it was
Yep.
so sad to think that one of those two teams was not going to be in the event anymore. Even sadder that it was ON because of all the rings on their team. They're all former champions, and to lose that early and to not be in the money or even close was unfortunate. Even more unfortunate was Envy didn't make it into the money either. So it was like both teams, neither one of them, kind of took advantage of the situation, and it just sucks that those two teams were out so early. This is a weird way of saying this, but the EU failure, I guess I don't know what to call it, was a notable moment in this event that TCM and Epsilon didn't make it. Now, would you guys say that was 100% a result of the pools, or they just didn't play to their abilities?
I think that it's just just shows the dominance of the North American scene. It's the same way in CS:GO, but except reverse. Like the Europeans are just way better than NA. It's CS:GO. I think that's just kind of expected.
But the
Yeah,
thing is, like, I thought Epsilon at least was gonna finish second in their pool. I don't think the pool really had, that much say in like determining whether they were gonna move on or not. And
yeah,
especially when Swanee has some information about the way that they play and relay that, and then TCM had North American practice before. Um, I was disappointing. I really thought Epsilon at least would have got out of the pool and made a
yeah.
run in the bracket. But
So,
yeah,
which team, Hudson, would you say wasn't? Which team would you say wouldn't make it, TK or SB, if Epsilon was going to make it in?
SB.
So you thought it was going to be TK and
I thought
Epsilon?
TK and FaZe Red were the only teams that could compete with Optic going into the event. That's what I thought, and
You didn't. Oh, you
I
thought
was
Denial
wrong.
had no didn't even have a chance.
They got stomped in the
Hmm.
winners finals of the last couple events. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Denial showed it was, and like people say this all the time. Pros say this. I don't think it's an excuse. It's like COD is a day-to-day game,
yep, yep, yep.
and so whether you show up or not, like, and Optic did really well in their pool gaming. Then the next day they just played extremely disorganized, and no one was really doing well except for Seth. And everyone else showed up when they didn't. So I mean,
Yeah.
props to them. Yeah.
Do you guys think that because do you think it was an advantage for Denial, even though we all were complaining about it for a little bit, that they had Prof in their bracket in their pool and that they actually got second instead of first, and they ended up playing the best team in the beginning? Did that give them more confidence, which helped fuel their victory? Like, did it actually turn out being a good thing that they had a
Oh yeah.
team that beat them in their pool? That they had to
I,
grind. Like Optic had such an easy pool. Like, was it? I mean, they lost one map, in their in-pool play. And so, was it actually an advantage for Denial to lose a series and go up against Prophecy?
I think it absolutely was. Like, to be honest, like already knowing the feeling of losing to me, and then like being able to face a team that you've lost against in the past and beat them early on is like just going to add just fuel like to the fire that they already have. To be honest, I thought the Optic Gaming would feel that same way. Obviously, they did get taken out and whatnot, but still, I thought that would add to them. I think honestly, losing is one of the best things that you can experience because you know what it feels like and you don't want to experience that again. So Denial already losing once in their bracket and facing a team first round that they've lost to in the past, personally, I think that was like the best thing for them that they could have had.
See, I'm the opposite. I feel like they knew they were going to have to play. I feel like that it would have turned out the way it did at any other point in time in the tournament. Like later on, if they had to play them and they didn't have to play them first, I think that Denial still would have beaten Optic. I don't know that they really like had some sort of advantage over Optic. I think Optic would have just been like, all right, we beat them last time, let's beat them again. And then Denial is just going to be like, they beat us last time. What are we, like, I feel like they're just going to play their game regardless of when they have to play that team. I just, I don't know. I think Optic was going to beat whoever they had to beat to come play Denial again in the future. I don't see that making a difference. That's just my opinion.
Well, the thing that Scump said in his video is he said that it's you can't blame the bracket for them losing. He said they just didn't show up. But
yeah,
it is a bit easier in bracket play when you show up on Saturday. It's a bit easier when bracket play starts if you're playing against a team that can give you an opportunity to warm up. Like when they sat down to play Denial, it was like, well, crap, and they said they weren't ready. They weren't ready to go. Sorry, my kids are screaming. But it's like when they showed up, when they got there to play Denial, Denial was like, all right, we're playing Optic. Let's go. Let's play our game. Let's run this. They were, and it was like they didn't Optic didn't have a chance to catch up. They won one map, but they never had a chance in that series to catch up with Denial's intensity, and it was over before it started almost. And so it was an interesting, this event was interesting in general because it's COD champs. This is different than us talking about, Dallas or Philly or Anaheim or any of these events, like this random, Columbus, whatever. It's like, this is COD champs. This is the $1 million tournament and the best team in the game that everybody for the last two events on thought was going to win this, and that it was a shoe-in. There's not a single person that predicted this tournament that didn't have them at least in the winners finals. And then maybe losing there, but nobody predicted that they would land where they landed. So, all right. So before we go to questions from Twitter, Hudson, was there any? I didn't mention FaZe Black versus SB was good as well. Was there any moments that we missed because we weren't there that were just really good, epic moments on site?
Well, out of the game, Clay accepting his MVP trophy was so deserving. So that was exciting. Just like he totally deserved that. He played insane throughout the event, like on par and better than Scump did in a lot of the games. It was his event, and so that was exciting out of the game. In the game, there was some really funny things that happened, like, some turn-ons. I think JCap got a few. And, the crowd, of course, gets excited about stuff like that. So many things happened. Like when teams would get upset, that was, just like kind of hearing reactions and stuff like that was interesting, to say the least. When Owen and Envy played, the crowd, because they played on an off station, I think station D or B, I can't remember, was huge. There were so many people for that event, and like Michael Condrey was watching, David Vonderhaar was there,
the
like
man,
in the crowd
based
watching.
Von.
Like there was a lot of people watching that game because it was so emotional. So yeah, stuff like that. It was cool to see some of that stuff happen. But at the same time, like there was some it wasn't just like a game of COD for some of them. Like it's not like that. It's a world championship. Even though Karma's still the only 2-ring player, I think he would have liked to have a third, but yeah, those were some of the ones I can remember. But there was all kinds of stuff that happened. I'm sure you could get more from Hitch.
Yeah,
but,
Karma's video was pretty good. He was very open about like that it sucked, but he said it was weird. He got over it really quick. That's what he said. He's like, surprisingly, I got over it very fast. He's like, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I left the venue when we lost. He's like, and people tried to get a picture with me, and I was kind of just trying to be by myself. He said, but regardless, it was just a hard loss for him. But he's still the only person with 2 rings, and he showed his fist, like he must have punched something when he went outside because he showed his fist, and one of them looked a little bit different than the other one. And he was like, after winning $200,000 the last 2 years, and then to win 0 was really disappointing. But yeah, I'm sure that was rough, but I hope those guys start uploading. That would be great if that was the result of them losing, was that they start doing like YouTube and
yeah. Mir said he wanted to do something. I was like, hey, more power to you, dude. Grow that Optic brand.
I hope I see it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Killa also said that he had like a mini rant on Twitter where he was saying, this is like extremely temporary, and so he's going to make the most of it. He wasn't like saying he's retiring or whatever, but he's going to start YouTube and streaming, which is exciting.
He said that he said that during Ghost when he joined Optic that he was going to do YouTube. I'll believe it when I see it. Like I'm excited,
I
don't want to put you down. If you're in the community, make content. That's great. But we just got to have people do it, That'd be awesome to see some killer content.
He's got the platform. For him not to take advantage of it would just be silly, so we'll see.
That's the same thing I said when they left Optic. I was like, no way.
Oh, yeah.
They did not use that opportunity the way I would. But we're 2 different people. It's whatever.
All right, Goalie, are you ready for me to do questions from Twitter? All right, I'm going to do them in the order that I sent them to you. First question comes from Ziatine, something like that. And it says, what do you think Nadeshot's announcement is going to be tonight? And we'll go Fox, Landon, Hudson, and then myself.
Okay, so personally, I think it's going to be one of 2 things. One thing, which would be very disappointing to all of us, is if Nadeshot retired. I don't think that would be like everyone would be really emotional about that. He's sort of the head of our community within the pros and stuff like that. It would be very disappointing. He's a big reason to see for COD's growth today, and it would definitely upset me. And I'm not even like a Nadeshot fan. I just like the guy. He's a great dude. Yeah. Second, he could just potentially just be building up hype for a video saying that they're not breaking up. Because that's what I would do, personally. That would bring how many more views to this video? He could be doing that. It's going to be one of those 2 things. Or something we just don't know.
Landon?
Personally, I don't think it has anything to do with roster changes. I mean, I don't know anything beyond like what everyone else really knows at this point. But, I've seen Formal tweet. He's said they're fine. He even tweeted out a picture of Krim, just speaking of roster changes and whatnot. He's talked to Krim. Krim seems okay. Like they're not happy, obviously, with their placing they had. They placed 7th at the biggest tournament in the world, but they still have a lot of money to win. Like there's these big tournaments coming. I think they realize that they're realizing that they can maybe, if they win a lot of these tournaments coming up, they can't literally replace their money, but they can like make up from what they messed up on. To be honest, I think that they might be trying to announce something about a house or something like that. They've talked about it for a long time. I know Scump was tweeting out the other day that, just speaking on locations and stuff, that he might consider going to the Red Bull studios, and I saw Red Bull tweeted him back about, like, hey, come here. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think it has something to do with maybe a new house or something like that. I don't think he's retiring. If I were him, I would at least wait till the end of the game to retire instead of, in the middle of a game right after champs. So, yeah.
Hudson.
Yeah, what I think is gonna happen. Well, okay, so I'll start with what could happen. Is it some April Fool's whatever, or like a video? What I think will happen is I think he's done. when he's done. I don't want it to happen, but I do.
Did you get that sense from while you were there? Like, did it seem like that?
I don't know really. Like he's Nadeshot. Like he's funny, he's happy, he's a good dude. And he's not going to make it, like more dramatic than it needs to be. He's not that kind of person.
Oh, he's not
but
going to LeBron James it? Do
I do
the decision and come
I,
on the
I don't know.
sticks
Like he might be just taking a break or something like that. But I feel like that's the sort of vibe.
I think if he takes a break, though, he wouldn't come back. Like, I think he'll realize the viewership that he'll have and, like, the success that he'll have once he's more consistent. And I don't think he'll come back if he leaves. And I know.
I mean, you guys know where I stand. Like, I'm, a huge fan. But
What's that
know.
poster on the back behind you on your right? What is that? What does that say?
I want that Astro backpack. Anyway, I'm
awesome.
typing in the chat what I think he's going to announce. It could do. I honestly don't know if maybe he said to the team, if we lose this event, if we don't get first, I'm going to retire. Like maybe he made
because
that
he's not going to let them
players.
announce it. No wonder they've said they're not making any changes.
Well, Krim hasn't really said anything, but Formal has come out and said, I'm going to play some Halo events, because he wants to kind of, he's frustrated that he didn't win. We know Formal. Formal has admitted that he's about getting money from playing competitive Call of Duty, and to go to the biggest event of the year and to play on the team that should have won it and not win has got to be frustrating for Formal. Scump said he's not going anywhere, although it sucks. But he kept saying in the video, I'm pretty sure no one is going anywhere. Which means they haven't all actually, put all your hands in the circle, go Optic. They haven't all had their powwow. On the Vegas trip, it was Big T, Mike, Hex, and Nade. Crim, Formal, Scump weren't there. And so I think Hex invited all of them. But I think a couple of FaZe guys went, Fwiz went, and so the other Optic players didn't go. I don't think we should necessarily take a sign from that, but I do think
that was just, I don't feel like going to Vegas. I think that's what it was.
I think Greenwall Television would be my guess, is that they're going to officially announce. I mean, Red Bull announced it in their announcement. They said that they would be working with Optic to utilize different forms of media to expose other people to the esports world. My thought is television, but maybe they could do something different, but still do a show where it's maybe a streamed show. But anything, if they produce something, and I'm tired of people telling me on Twitter, I wouldn't watch that. I was like, okay, do you watch Nadeshot's videos? Do you watch Scumpy's videos? Do you watch Crim's videos? Do you watch any of those? When Formal makes a vid, do you watch it? Does TP watch it? Well, then what makes you think if you watch their 10-minute videos and the average show is like 22 minutes, what makes you think you won't watch 22 minutes of edited Optic footage from the house? Like, who wouldn't watch that in our community? Nadeshot is getting hundreds of thousands of views per video with and Scumpy. Why would you not watch a show that they did together? And so I don't agree with I don't know what the philosophy is behind people saying they wouldn't watch it, but it's like, if hundreds of thousands of people watch their videos, which adds up to about millions a day if you add up all their views in the Optic world. And so millions of people are watching their videos every day. Millions of people would watch a show if they put it on television, and they would expose themselves to a new audience.
Yeah, without question, man. I'd tune in just to support the scene because I like the guys. I'll tune in. Shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Optic
so that's
radio station.
Oh my gosh, that's my that's 96.4 Bang Bang.
Welcome to Bang Bang Radio.
All right, next question from Twitter.
Am I missing an inside joke here?
No, it's in the chat. Next question from Twitter comes from swag_LP, and it's Sam, and he says, predictions for Roster Mania, and what was the biggest... We won't answer what was the biggest shock of the tournament. Give me... I don't want to go too far into predictions because we can get lost in it, but give me one prediction that that in your mind you're pretty sure is going to happen. You can pick a team or a player that you think for sure is going to move. And I'll start with Landon.
Oh man. Hold on. Okay. So you said one? You said one, right? I think you said one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, what intel do you have? Tell them all. Tell us all.
yeah. Come on, Landon,
we'll
drop
talk
the
when the
knowledge,
stream's over.
bro.
You know, it's a totally different conversation. No,
Boo.
I'm joking. For me, I definitely think something's going to happen with FaZe Black. Obviously, they have two players that aren't, on a team right now. I think TK definitely needs to make something happen. To be honest, I think we see something with TK. To be honest, I'm going to take the safe answer. I know Envy's making a trade, just their performance. I don't know anything, but I know for sure that they will at least do something. They have to do something. They're like almost last in the league. They placed, terribly at champs. No offense to them, but they definitely need to make a trade. Maybe the addition of like someone like Apathy. I know a lot of people are talking about that, and whatnot. I don't see TR doing anything from what people are talking about in the chat, but I definitely see something happening with Envy. Whoever it may be, I don't know, but they definitely need to make one.
Hudson.
Yeah, Envy's changing for sure, but I think with who, that's going to be interesting to see, because Merc, he's a captain, and maybe he needs to find more of a duo, or someone that like sort of how would you say that, like someone that works with his play style and makes it, I don't know, makes their team more of like a machine, I guess, like Optic normally is, because I don't think he's gonna leave, but I think he needs to find someone that works with him better. Do you understand what I'm saying? Kind of
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that person exists. I'm not saying that Merc is
yeah,
Merc's a great player and he's at the top of his game,
I think he'll stay, but I just don't know who, because like he plays slower than Zuma and Saints do. I think he needs to find someone who plays that same way, and then their team would figure it out. I don't know. That's my thought. But Envy. Yeah.
Ron.
I definitely see Envy making a change, and I see TK making a change, and I also see Revenge making. As much as I want Revenge to stick together under the Revenge organization, I genuinely feel like we're going to see them go to a bigger, bigger organization. That's just what's happened with players that are on lesser known organizations. Someone offers them a spot and they pick it up. Just like with Stunner, we saw all of them kind of separate after that amazing performance. I see TK making a change, even though they've been very consistent with their rosters since TK's inception. Like, they haven't really juggled around players a whole lot. I mean, they had Clay, Formal at one point, but they don't really. I think Sharp's going to stay. I think Theory's going to stay. Looney should stay. I think that something might happen with Goonjar. I don't know. I feel like they would maybe pick up some of the guys from TR or something, maybe one or two. I also think Envy would do the same. I don't really know. But I'm pretty sure, isn't it that they can only make trades or something like that? So
they can do whatever they want basically until
there's a certain period of time, and then they can only make trades. So I think we could see that happening. Something happening with the TR guys. No one's going to want to let them just remain on TR, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not trying to take a shot at the organization. I'm just saying that that's a business opportunity that people would make.
Oh, man.
Supposedly, TR is really, really trying to buy a spot. Pittsburgh's been tweeting it out, and he said that there's an announcement. They just haven't announced what it is. So we'll have to just wait and see.
If they do,
I also feel Apathy's gonna. Apathy could fit on Envy. I would agree with that. I could definitely see that they could drop Saints or
one thing though with like talking about Apathy and stuff. I saw Imbo's tweet, and I've been stalking Twitter like crazy, for roster stuff. But Imbo's did say on Twitter the other day, he mentioned who's teaming with me for the league. So they obviously have two other players. They announced Apathy and Study are with them for season 2. But if he's talking about that, that means that they don't for sure know, or they don't have a team together. Like, and I know Apathy's gotten offers. It's just normal that he would get something like that. And if he got an offer for TK or someone like, or even Envy, he's definitely going to take that. No offense to his team, but he knows.
Yeah,
Apathy's a smart guy. He's not going to just not take that.
Well, Apathy today on Sunday when Proofy tweeted, "Okay, now that Champs is over, it's time for me to find a league team." Apathy said, "Same." He tweeted at Proofy
Did
and
he?
said, "Same."
Okay.
Yeah, so he's not hiding the fact that he's looking for a different league team. He wants to be successful and make top 8 so that he can get into the X Games. And I think everybody's going to be moving around to try to get it in there. In my opinion, Envy is for sure making a trade. Everybody says Owen is not making a trade, but I actually think it's possible, depending on the success that those players want. I mean, Karma and Teep just have not been successful on AW, and that's got to eventually be really frustrating. Like,
Yeah. Well, Karma just destroys people. He plays awesome. I feel like he needs to find people that, same with Merc, that they play the same speed as him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's the key.
Too. And this is where burning bridges really can hurt people. Like,
yeah, for sure.
If
I mean, they're
Karma
all
burns
friends.
Bridges, Envy, you know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, when you burn your bridges with organizations, like the way you leave an organization, it counts for something in the long run. You know, like the way Parasite left Optic, and I mean, there's just a whole bunch of crazy changes that have taken place that have left. And I asked Hex in the 1v1, I said, was it hard to take back Killa and Mir? You know, based on
that's what I was just about to say. I was like, what?
Killa didn't even tell you he was leaving. You know,
yeah.
And he was like, well, you know, yeah, it was tough. He's like, I called Killa and said, hey, bro, why didn't you just tell me? Like, why would you just announce it that you're leaving the team? And, you know, he was frustrated because he felt kind of betrayed, but he let him back on the team. So, I think winning is the main reason. And he's the owner. He doesn't always, you know, make the roster decisions. He lets the team kind of make it together. And so they thought that was the best combination to do well at Champs, and it did not work. So at some point, they're going to get together and talk about it. Go ahead. 100%.
Yeah, I think 100% FaZe Red and Denial stay together, and that's good. I think Parasite's happy where he's at, and AIX is finally starting to feel them pick up. Although I think they definitely could have won the event, given certain circumstances. You know, they play well enough, and so they're good. I think they're going to stay together. Denial, obviously, I don't see them splitting up. We've seen them talk about that, and so yeah, those are the teams I think 100% will stay together. Optic Gaming, I don't think they're splitting up, but I mean, we'll wait to see what Nade says. I don't know. I feel like it's not a good thing.
I'm interested to see what happens with Swanee. Swanee, maybe? Or even
Optic
Hugh.
EU, bro. Optic EU.
Right. That's the announcement.
All right.
Well, I think they can only have 2 teams, though. That's the thing.
No, but they can be a team that's in the EU.
Oh,
like
true,
not,
true,
you know,
true.
not in the league.
Not league, yeah.
Optic EU.
Right.
Do you think there'd be a wise investment though? Oh, you can go ahead and move on.
Possible. It'd possibly be a wise investment. It's Hex. He knows what he's doing. Classy CLS asks, and just give me a yes or no on this one so we can move on. Do you think the Optic LAN hurt Optic Gaming? Ron?
No.
Landon?
No, not really. No, I don't think so personally.
Hudson?
Same. Yeah, they just didn't show up. No.
Agreed. All right, next question comes from Nick Vincent at That's a Booyah. And he says, do Denial go on a streak? One hit wonder, or are they about to win a couple more events? I'll start with Hudson.
They got the potential for sure. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see. What is the next? Is the next event UMG Ontario, California? Or is there one in Niagara? Okay.
Is ESWC before that? I heard.
I mean, I think
Niagara's April 23rd, and it's in less than 4 weeks. Is ESWC within the next 4 weeks?
I think
so that's between Niagara and Orlando.
By the way, chat, so that you guys can now hear me, ESWC's in May. I'm talking off stream to them.
Oh yeah.
They're detriments. They don't say anything.
Yeah, I think they'll consistently be a top 3 team. Do I think they'll win again? Within the next few events, for sure, they'll win another one. But, I don't know which. I mean, maybe the next one, because they're on, like, a streak, but we'll see.
Landon?
I think that they'll definitely be the top team that they are right now, placing top 3, top 2, and maybe even winning an event. To be honest, I'm waiting to see what happens with rosters. I think there'll be one team that comes out of this and is scary. Like I think there's going to be like a team that comes out of this roster mania and is like, it's like almost they're going to like be another top team. So I don't know what's going to happen exactly. Like I said. But I think we'll see if this team sticks together, which I definitely see them doing. I don't know why they wouldn't. I definitely see them taking another event, going on a run. I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna like win 3 events in a row. Like maybe make the Optic run, but I definitely think Optic's still the best team in the game. But it really just depends. Whoever matches up against who better. It's Denial versus
I'm gonna
Optic.
interrupt you real quick. Someone
fine.
tweeted at me that, and I do remember this. Attached said he's not going to UMG Cali,
Did he?
so they'll have a pickup.
Personally, he's not going.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he's
Why?
not going. Probably
2 months from
graduation. Same with me.
I forgot
It's
you
2
guys
months
were like
from now, though.
12. My bad.
Wow.
Middle school graduation.
Oh yeah. All right.
That sucks, dude.
I'll remember that.
You still gotta raise your hand to ask to go to the bathroom, don't you?
Hudson's gonna remember that when
Oh my god.
Hudson's gonna remember that when
This is the
he's like,
Hudson roast now,
when-
right?
he's gonna land like an interview with Nadeshot, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, can I get some of that love?" And he's gonna be like, "Nope." I'm
Raise your
in
hand.
middle
Raise
school.
your
I
hand,
can't talk to
Kingdom.
adults.
All
Oh,
good. All good.
All right, who didn't answer that question
Attached
yet
prom?
I
about
did.
Denial's run? Ron?
Denial. I think we need to see how the roster changes go, and we need to see how the metagame evolves within the game. We need to see if drift is still going to be a thing. We need to see if maybe we'll see the map rotation switch up a little bit. I don't really know how Denial is going to do at the next couple of events. We need to see them play some more.
All right. I think this team has the most potential out of all the other teams in that exist right now. I do agree with Landon. If somehow TP and Karma, if they dropped Mir and Killa and picked up Enable and Apathy, I think that was the weird team somebody said last night in my chat, and I was like, wow, that would actually be a good team. Like Teep, Karma, Enable, and App. Like as far as composure goes, and like Hudson, what you were talking about with the pace that Karma needs to play at, like I think that team would destroy. But I agree with whoever said until a team, I think it was Landon, until a team is created that can compete, I think Optic and Denial are your top 2 teams for sure. I think if Optic doesn't win the next event, and especially if they place outside of top 3, which would be ridiculous, but I said that for COD champs, I think they would honestly consider a roster change. I don't think at this time they are, but who knows? Nadeshot could completely change that and break the internet by retiring in a few hours.
For some reason, I really want to see Karma and Clay team again.
Clayster, that dude, he's one of the best people at this game.
He is the best.
The hard thing about the switching that we do of games is that you switch a game and someone who was okay is now like a god at the game, and someone who was a god is mediocre. And people make their roster decisions for the new game based on how people played in the past, their past success. Clayster may not have been the most super amazing player at Ghost. He was good, but in AW, this dude is on another level, in my opinion. And like I said,
Ghost was just a weird, like, I don't know. It was like a growth stage, I guess, but it didn't work out well.
But it's like
Call of Duty what?
Yeah, roast. Call of Duty roast. He is
Call of Duty.
Clayster,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. He is one of the best players, and he is probably the best influencer. Like he's found a way to influence and lead people, and
He's a leader.
it's really good. It's really good to see that. All right. Next question is from Optic Belly Fat. It's from Isabella. 2 rings.
Hey, how you doing?
Little baby Isabella asks, "Are you a pair?"
Yes.
Yeah, Hudson is. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Yeah.
Hudson says yes. Isabella, 2 rings.
I
All
don't
right.
even eat them. It's just a weird thing.
Pears
Just like picked it up and it stuck, and I don't know, man.
Pears are delicious.
Pears.
Look, I really don't. That's really disrespectful. I was born like this. I've been a pair for as long as I can remember, and
Yeah.
I think that you just need to calm down, personally.
Right now. All right. Next question is from It's Just Murph, Cathal Murphy. And he asked the question, is TP and Karma, are TP and Karma, overrated in this game because of what they've achieved in previous COD titles, considering their AW placings?
I just don't think that they've been able to find the right squad and get the. I don't think they're overrated. They're fantastic players.
Right.
They'll perform when they get they'll perform. I think we just got to give them a little bit more time. Sucks that we've
Yeah, I
given
think
them
it's the
a full
speed.
season and COD champs and we haven't really seen it yet. But I think we'll see. They'll do great.
Yeah, like I think really this game with the exo movement and all that stuff, it really is the speed at which you play. And so, like we were saying, like Merc needs to find that player. Karma is like plays very fast, just like Seth and Krim do. And so Formal also, but he sits back a little bit more. I think for them to bring back the success that they had, that they do need to find those players, and that's why I want to see like Clay and Karma team. I think maybe Saints and Zuma would play well with them, but I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you guys could come up with a good team. Maybe Apathy.
That's an unpredictable team.
They've teamed with so many players and they haven't done well. I don't know.
I think Teep.
Landon,
is like
what are your thoughts about Karma?
I think Teep, like speaking on being like overrated and whatnot, I think Teep is one of the most underrated people in the game for the fact that he's an OBJ and he slays just as well. Like he led his team in KD last season, and we all know how bad Teep's internet is, and I can't imagine how good he would be if it was normal and whatnot. For me, I think Karma is going to be a dominant player no matter what game he plays. Karma is going to be a slayer. Whenever he finds the team that works for him, Karma is going to be a top 5 player in my opinion. I don't think he's playing one like right now just because he hasn't found the team that works for him in this game. So to say that they're overrated, I wouldn't say so, because you can't. I mean, championships are championships. You're not going to obviously denounce them and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
They've been consistently great throughout the CODs, just in a bit of a slump right now, that's all. I mean, not individually, just...
Right.
You can't always be the best.
You can't.
It's like going from a slow-paced game to this.
But you also can't call a slump consistent. Like, you can't call consistent losing a slump. Like,
right.
At some point, somebody has to say, this just isn't their game. Like, I mean, we're saying they just need to be on the right team, which... I've said that about Apathy in the past because he's individually gone bananas. The amazing thing about, like, I guess it's like Allen Iverson. He came into the league, he got MVP as a rookie, he was scoring 40 points a game for like however many games in a row, broke some of Michael Jordan's records, got to the playoffs, and he was the only person on his team that could score, so they failed. But, like, and then he's uncoachable because, there's just something about him that's uncoachable. There's something about I guess Karma, I don't know. Maybe Karma and Teep need to not team together in order for them to be successful. Maybe. Like, sometimes you got to break up a duo in order for the duo to succeed, and maybe Nadeshot is like, you know what? It's time for the Scumpy and Nade duo to break up, and we'll be able to achieve greater things. We'll take TP onto
and
Optic
then buildings collapse,
team ever.
Fires spark up at random, and
like,
that'd be crazy to see them.
Imagine TP playing Nadeshot's position of grabbing the OBJ, and then in those moments where Nadeshot might be outslayed, you have TP in the hard point. I mean, it's even the little teeny bit more that he can do, the little bit more slaying ability might make that team better. But
can I just sort of agree with you? But you're about to start World War III with a comment like that.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
I definitely agree with you though, man. If we're talking about them having the same role, I would definitely rather have TP in that position.
All right, last question from Twitter, and it is from Zenith, and he says, "We all know Envy are making roster changes. If they do, who will get dropped and who will get picked up?" And I know we've talked about Envy, not at length, but we've talked about Envy a number of times. But let me put it this way for you guys to not make it so threatening. If you owned Team Envious, and if it was your decision to create their roster, who would you drop from their team, and who might you pick up from other teams that's available that would make Envy a more cohesive unit and probably get them some top 4 placings
From other
And I'm
available
just-
teams.
Start
Go for it.
with Ron.
Okay. From an owner's perspective, so not from a player's perspective, even though I'm sure an owner would still have some similar insight to a player. So, I probably would not drop Nameless or Merc. We're talking about from an owner's perspective. You know, they've established themselves well as envious players. They've branded themselves as envious players. They've been here for too long.
Yeah.
So I would keep them. We're assuming that no one leaves, correct? And so, if I had to pick someone to drop, I think that it would be Saints first, and then Zuma, as an owner, not a player. And I would probably pick up a TR person, a TR player. I would try and pick up someone that already had, and then another player. If I could only get one TR player, someone else that has a following. 'Cause I'm just trying to think of this from, as an owner, a business standpoint. You know how well your team's going to play, but also their exposure as individual, their brand as individual players, and how well they've grown themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Is the way I would think about it.
Okay.
So a TR player, and then maybe another established player in the scene. So Apathy.
Landon?
If I was an owner, and I know a lot of the times, like, owners don't necessarily, in some ways, they don't necessarily look out for their players. Obviously, I would if I was an owner. At least I would try my best to. I would work with what I have. You have some really, really good players. A lot of people consider them 2 duos. I wouldn't say that, like what Hudson said earlier. I think Merc's kind of by himself in a way. I would definitely try to keep Merc. I think Merc's a very consistent, good player. He just needs to play with people he can play with. Nameless to me is someone that I can try to work with, but I think Nameless wants to leave, to be honest with you. I know Nameless thrives on winning. He's done really well in the past with teams that he's connected with. I think, to be honest, Nameless would be someone that I would try to find someone for. Maybe for the fact that I think Nameless would work better on a different team. Whenever they played with Rambo and Study for last year's champs. I know Nameless liked Rambo. I know he had a really, really good bond with Study. I think, honestly, if I was to maybe replace someone... Nadeshot just released what his thing was, by the way. Not trying
Happy
interrupt.
to his new branding.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I told you.
God.
I told you guys this was gonna happen. I told you he's gonna. I thought it would be in YouTube video format, but I figured
Just
it would be
bullets
something he
in an
wanted to. Yes.
Oh my
Moving
god. Okay, well, now that that's solved, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. I would drop Nameless, pick up Apathy, try to figure out something with Zuma and
Oh,
Saints.
he had it designed by Phase Studio. Interesting.
Yeah, now I
knew
gotta
he
buy
was
like
gonna-
50 more shirts. God.
I knew he was gonna do that, dude. He was
Everyone's
just
like,
gonna.
what?
was
What?
good, I thought. I like
the-
his Nadeshot logo. I don't know if putting bullets in your logo is good for like overall expansion of branding. But
Wait, what do you
anyway,
see bullets in it?
the
you
N
see
is made
bullets?
of 2 bullets. The lines
Oh, whoa! I don't even
that are
notice
firing
that.
in opposite directions. They look like
Yeah, it's
but
So
they're
he's,
bullets.
he's shooting at someone and someone's shooting back.
Yes.
at least they're
Shots
shooting
fired.
back, right? At least
Hopefully
they're
he-
shooting
Yeah.
back.
Is he winning that gunfight in the shots being fired?
We don't know.
All right, so wait, did you guys finish your Envy thing? 'Cause
Yeah.
I had something to add. All right, cool. So for Envy, I think they should pull from FaZe Black, and I think Proofy should go back to Envious, and in replacement of either Saints or Zuma, whoever fit better. And I think that Apathy should also go there, and that would be a pretty killer squad. I think Proof played insane at the tournament. He played kind of like Seth did on Optic Gaming. They were the only like standout players. I think I don't know. Yeah. I think I'd like to see them under blue again. And Envy could use some wins. They were second place so long last year. And I'd like to see them win an event or two. Um, those players could definitely do it. Proofy, winning X Games last year. Apathy, Columbus this year, or was he? Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, Privy had a 1.13 KD just looking at it. So
Yeah, I mean
I'd
he
pick.
played good.
I would drop. I would almost drop the whole team, but I'd drop everybody with the exception of maybe Merc, and I'd pick up App, Proof, and I'd move
Hey.
Crim 6 away from Optic.
Yeah. Okay. So
Wait,
in the,
you just said players that would be
Dropping how much?
available.
you can't buy him.
Right, dude.
All
Name was worth
Fantastic.
all
Kingdom, what you got in
This
your
is
wallet,
great.
man? You're out here talking about buying Crim 6.
Yeah, I know. I'm crazy.
they have contracts, Kingdom. They have contracts.
Blah blah blah. All right, so we're gonna end the show, guys. Thank you guys for. We're gonna end it on a high note. We could go for another hour, and you guys would stay here, and hopefully. Oh, there you go. Hook. That's my fourth. Forget Crim. I get Hook on Indy. Hook. Who else did I say? Proofy, Apathy, and Merc. There's the team. All right, so we're gonna end the show the way we always do. We didn't talk specifically about Roster Mania, guys, but we did in all of the talks we just had. We answered a whole bunch of questions about it, so we're not going to go to that topic separately. But you guys are going to say whatever you want to whoever you want about whatever you want, and you're going to say it in 30 seconds or less. Yes, you can shout out your own stuff. I don't care. Like I said, whatever you want. And we're going to go Landon, Hudson, Fox, and then myself.
All right, guys, it's been your dude, your bro, your pal, your ally on the internet. It's been Landon. I appreciate you guys for coming out to the stream. Thank you to Ron and Hudson for being on. Thank you also for Kingdom for having me on as well. Shout out to Goalie. Goalie does a lot of stuff, so shout out to Goalie, even though he could care less what I say to him because he's weird. Anyway, thank you guys for coming to the chat. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure to follow me at MLG Rostermania because Rostermania news will be going down, and I will have it before everyone, including Codpedia. So thank you guys so much for coming out.
Right.
Shout out to those sponsors I don't have yet. And before goalie kicks me out of the call, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Roster Mania or Landon, make sure you tweet out Nadeshot roster change has switched his logo. His logo has been traded for another logo. Make sure
Look at
Oh,
Kingdom. He's giving you
right.
retweets, bro.
Yeah.
He's giving them to you.
and then they put hashtag Intel.
I'll just put a hashtag Intel right now and see what happens.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the
that's a
stream.
good
I
idea.
appreciate it. It's always fun being on the STiKS. You guys have a pretty solid fan base, which is cool. Definitely make sure to check out their shirts. They've got the blue t-shirt as well as a white sweatshirt. White sweatshirts are dope. So definitely pick those up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Landon, tweet it. Hashtag Intel. I'm going to tweet it too.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Just-
Thanks for having me on the
just-
show, Kingdom, and everyone at the STiKS. I had a great weekend working with you guys for the first time. It was a fantastic experience, and I'd love to come back anytime. My name is Fox, as you guys have probably seen. This is my Twitter down here. If you would like to follow me at RondezFox. I'm a live streamer. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a caster. I like to think I work pretty hard. So if you want to check any of that out, feel free. The STiKS, make sure you come by here whenever you see the show is live. It's a fantastic show. I loved watching it, and now I'm on it. So, that's just a pretty awesome experience. But MLG.TV/Fox, if you ever want to stop by, drop a follow. Thanks, guys.
All right. This is your boy Kingdom Soldier. And officially, until Fatty gets a different job or comes back to the show, we're officially making a roster change, and Landon is going to be a permanent part of the show. So
Hey.
Optic golf clap to Landon.
That's awesome, dude. Congrats.
It's great.
Landon is one of the hardest working dudes in the community. This guy scours favorites and notifications and mentions, and he is the best person to follow if you need to be up to date on Roster Mania. But he also, ever since he's started to work with the STiKS, he's always said, "What the heck? Nade's tweeting a new header too. What is this?"
That's sick. I'm not gonna lie.
That is beautiful. Oh, my
Okay.
goodness.
There's no picture of him. Anyway, so like a pro player should have themselves screaming or something. His next tweet is going to be like, and also, this is my new role, not player. I'm
I'm
Red,
also
interested.
going
don't
full-time
even.
H1C1.
All right,
Starting
so
H1C1 team.
no, I do want to say that ever since Landon's been on the show, he's been in our midst. He's always said it's no big deal. I don't have to be on the show. You don't have to put me on the show. It's not a big deal. You know, he's always been just fine with being in kind of in the background, helping us write. He's helped me write a lot of the recent shows, and makes my job a lot easier. So I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Landon, very much. And you know, you've been a part of the STiKS fam for a long time, but welcome to being officially a part of the lineup for Mondays. And
There you go.
you
Good
know,
for you.
if Hitch doesn't get himself on the air, we may have to replace him too.
Oh gosh.
I'm here to phase you out, Hitch. I got that
Hashtag
spot.
Intel. Rondez Fox bogards his way onto the STiKS. But thank you guys for stopping by as usual. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you to the new subs. I think we need like 10 more or something like that for new emotes because we got to get to like 50 or something. But I really appreciate you guys' support and all you that watched me play NBA 2K15 yesterday. Thanks for hanging out and sticking around. At some point, I am going to play some more Halo with Goalie. Make sure you watch Goalie streams. He is the real MVP, and he's not just an entertainer behind the scenes by producing. This dude is a great producer when it comes to, or he's a great entertainer when it comes to his own content. So make sure you guys check out his stream at Goalie TV. Very easy to find. It's your boy Kingdom Soldier and Hudson and Fox and Landon, and we will see you next time on the STiKS.
See you guys.
Peace. Goodbye.
Thanks.